The next thing I'm going to talk about something it's been in Orchid Whiz for a long time and is little known. If you go in here, there are lots of, in the top menu, there's lots of things you can do from the top menu. And one of them is called Tools. And there is one screen that's called Compute Genus. You can bring up actually by just hitting your F8 function key. And compute genus is useful when you're trying to figure out, you're crossing two different things and you're trying to figure out what is going to be the resulting genus, okay? So let's say that you are crossing a Rhyncholaelia cattleya, so that's RLC, and you're crossing that with Brassavola, that's B. Now I could have typed the whole thing out, right? So here I can have the abbreviation RLC here, and here I can actually type Brassavola if I want to, okay? And then you say, okay, so what if I call it Rhyncholaelia cattleya is Rhyncholaelia with cattleya, okay? And that's typically because he has a Rhyncholaelia digbiana in the background. You know, that's how you typically get these things. So Rhyncholaelia cattleya, and I'm going to cross that with Brassavola, and let's say that's a Brassavola nudosa, for example, because nudosa did not switch a genre, but digbiana did. So Rhyncholaelia cattleya with Brassavola nudosa, I click calculate, and it tells me that it's a Rhynchobrassolaelia, Rhynchobrassolaelia, and it tells me what it is, you know, Brassavola, cattleya, and Rhyncholaelia. And also down here, it has them all spelled out, okay? Now, what if I cross something that doesn't exist? Like let's say, let's cross the Vanda with a Brassavola, okay? That probably doesn't exist, I'm guessing. So let's cross that and let's see what it says. So Vanda crossed with Brassavola, calculate, and it says the resulting genus has not been authored, okay? Now there are certain cases, in this case I crossed two things that probably are not possible, but in certain cases you will cross two things that are possible, okay? And it just nobody has just crossed that combination yet. And that happens all the time. So, and in that case, it will tell you the resulting genus has not been authored, and so then you could name it yourself. It could be a Maximianowara or a Hinsonara or whatever name you want to give it. You could tell the RHS, I would like to name the genus, you know, this particular name, you know, after my last name or whatever. Okay. Now, is there another way that you could do this? There is. Let's say that you were going to cross. Let's bring up Hazel Boyd. Okay, and Hazel Boyd is called Cattleyanthi Hazel Boyd nowadays. If I click here, explain, where it has my it's like a picture of it's an icon with a picture of Frederick Sander with his beard. So you click there, explain, and it says that now this is a very complex. It's a popular hybrid, but it's a very complex hybrid. Lots of things in the background. So what it tells us is that the prior name was Sophrolaelia cattleya. That's in red. Sophrolaelia cattleya, SLC Hazel Boyd, because it used to be cattleya with Laelia and Sophronitis, and now it's Cattleyanthi. And why is that? Because Sophronitis coccinea became Cattleya coccinea, and Cattleya aurantiaca became Guarianthi aurantiaca, and a bunch of Laelias became Cattleyas. Okay, so now it's only Cattleya with Guarianthi. Okay, so I've got my Hazel Boyd, and now I'm going to cross it with something. So you see here it says cross with, and I'm just going to type here whatever I want to cross it with. So let's say that I want to cross it with, let me see, I got Cattleyanthi. Let's cross it with Nudosa, Brassavola nudosa. I don't think anybody has done that cross. Let's see. I doubt it. It just doesn't make sense as a cross, but you know, let's test it. So I'm going to type Nudosa in here. I'm going to click cross, and it's gonna bring up Cattleyanthi Hazel Boyd with Brassavola nudosa, the cross. And you see Hazel Boyd with nudosa. It says not found. It has not been crossed yet. Okay. And so, but even though it has not been crossed, I can do all kinds of analysis on it. You see, I can do cousins and figure out, well, even if it hasn't been crossed, is there anything that has been crossed that's close to it? And, you know, there's very little, but at 71% here, I find this Texas Sunrise, which is, I can do a genealogy tree on it. It's nudosa with Carib collars. And so that's as close as I can get to it. And it looks like this, okay? So I can look at things that kind of look similar. I can do a lot of, I can compare the two and say, well, it's this one crossed with that one. And the other thing that I can do is I can go into my profile page and then go from there and look at, do the analysis on any kind of analysis. So I can do a genealogy tree. I can do, family tree, genealogy tree, text tree. I can go and maximize this by clicking the genealogy button and look at it in more detail. But what you will notice here is that it says Brassocatanthi there. You see that? It says Brassocatanthi. So it automatically figures out what it's going to be. If you make this cross, it says that it's going to be a Brassocatanthi, and it also says that in the old days it would be a Potnara. And I can click my explain button, and again, this is an unregistered cross. It doesn't exist. So if I click my explain button, it will tell me why it used to be a Potnara in the old days, and now it would be considered a Brassocatanthi, because it will tell me every species in the background and how those species, how the names for those species changed.
So if you went to the genus screen where you said what was created and you entered in those two genuses, you would get what?
Yeah, so let's do that. So let's do Brassavola, and what is this one? This is Cattleyanthi. Let's see if I can spell that correct. Compute genus. And what did I have? Okay, so CTT and Brassavola, I think it was. And there it is, Brassocatanthi. Okay, so it's Brassavola and Guarianthi. I'm sorry, no, it's Cattleya and Guarianthi, and then you cross that with Brassavola. Okay, so that's another way of doing it. But you can be very specific and actually cross two things that have not been crossed before. So that's another way of doing it. You can do it either way.
Not anything to do with Cattleyas or anything, but there's a cross been made of Neophonetia falcata with Phalaenopsis. I can't remember the name of the Phalaenopsis that they used though.
Okay, so falcata.
Yeah, falcata.
Is falcata Neophonetia still? I thought you had changed.
It's a Vanda. It's a Vanda now.
Okay, so falcata. I'm gonna just click on any of these. It doesn't matter. Okay, so that's Vanda falcata. No, just any Neophonetia. And I'm gonna look at offspring. So there's my offspring of falcata, right? There's my offspring of falcata. That's kind of what they look like. The falcata is kind of dominant in the color shape. But if I look at my offscreen, I can now say, okay, so this is the other parent. So I'm going to click genus here and then scroll down to Phalaenopsis. I don't see it yet. I don't see a Phalaenopsis crossed with.
I've got one.
Oh, no, it's here. It's here. I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong place. It's here. Okay, so let's scroll down to Phalaenopsis. Yeah. Oh, it has been crossed with lots of Phalaenopsis.
Yeah. It's equestrus, actually. It's equestrus it's crossed with.
Okay, so equestrus. So that's that one. And what was your question?
What would it would come out as a Vandanopsis. What the genus would come out at?
Yes, so that would come out as a Vandanopsis, and I can, let's click on the profile for that. And so yeah, it's Vandanopsis. It would be pronounced Vandanopsis, but it's kind of spelled Vandaenopsis, Vandanopsis.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, now in the old days, that would be known as a Phalaenopsia, because in the old days, that would be Neophonetia with Phalaenopsis. So in the old days, it would be a Phalaenopsia, and now that changed to Vandanopsis, yes.